Okay, we are so excited that you guys are here. Welcome to our coaching webinar where Tate and I are going to share with you guys all about how this coaching business has drastically changed the course of our lives, how we have found what we feel like is our true passion and purpose in this life, and how we have created financial freedom from home. I want to first start out with the really exciting news and situation, right? And that is our giveaway that we have been talking about all week long in our events page. So here's what we're gonna do. You have a shot at winning a $50 Nike gift card from Tate or a $50 Lululemon gift card from myself. So I'm gonna tell you guys how you need to be sure that you get entered into the giveaway drawing, okay? So first of all, if you are already a coach, we love you and we are so thankful that you are here, but the giveaway is for non-coaches only, okay? Still feel free to snap your picture, but as we're going through all of the entries, it will be for non-coaches only, okay? We still love you guys. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and do it right now. You are going to snap a picture of your screen with all of these amazing faces and humans on it, and you are going to post it to your Instagram story, and you are going, this is the important part, ready? Because this is how we're going to find you. You're going to tag me. My handle is, I'm going to type it in the chat. Tate, will you throw yours up just so I don't mess it up? You're going to tag myself and you're going to tag Tate, and those handles are both in the comment section. And then if we are not one of the coaches that invited you to this call, tag the coach that invited you, okay? That's an important piece too. And so after the call is over, Tate and I are going to go through those, and we are going to pick a giveaway winner for both the Nike gift card and the Lululemon gift card. Alrighty, and that is how you get entered to win. So here's what we're going to do. If you've already snapped your picture, that's okay. I like to warn everybody before I snap a picture. I used to not do that, and then I would catch like some really funny faces, and they'd be like, Beth, why didn't you just tell me? I'm like, chewing. Not a flattering angle. So here's what we're going to do. On the count of 3, turn your beautiful faces on if you're able, and we are going to snap a picture, and then you're going to post it on your stories. Tag me, Tate, and your coach. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay! All right, you guys, so super excited about that. So here is kind of what tonight is going to look at. Okay, let's jump right in. Tate and I are both going to share our stories with you. So kind of how we found Beachbody, how we found the business, how this business has changed our lives in multiple different ways. We're going to kind of walk you through what we feel like are 3 main points, essentially, as to how this business can change your life. And then we're going to wrap up with probably what most of you care about is income progressions, how hopefully by hearing our stories and kind of how we've navigated our business over the course of the past couple of years, and then sharing how that belief and that confidence in taking action in our business has resulted in us creating financial freedom for our families, kind of really does show you how it's all kind of tied together. And then we'll give you some info for moving forward if you do decide that this is an opportunity that you want to take advantage of, which we are so hopeful that it is. So first and foremost, Tate, I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but I saw this on one of Josh Coates's webinars, and he does this thing called Spirit Fingers, because I know that I thrive off of energy, right? Like Tate and I are about to pour our hearts out to you guys, and we want to know that you're digging what we're saying, right? Even if you're not, just pretend. So here's what we're gonna do. Whenever Tate or myself say, if we say something, or when we're sharing our stories with you guys, or we say something that just clicks, or you wanna like really unmute yourself and just scream like, yes, I want you to just throw spirit fingers up, because we can see you too, okay? So whenever we say something that you just wanna like shout through the computer screen at, just throw up some spirit fingers, okay? And we'll do that through the entire duration of the call. So I'm going to stop talking and pass it over to Tate, and he's going to share a little bit about his story with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you guys hear me okay? Everybody good? All right. Well, first of all, thank you all so much for hopping on here and taking the time out of your day to spend it with Beth and I and our teams, and just learning more about this opportunity, what we do, and how this has radically transformed our lives over the past several years and months. So before, and I'm just going to jump into kind of my story and how I got started into this whole thing. And before I got started in this business, I was really starting to wonder whether or not I was ever going to find like my passion and my purpose in life. Any of you that know me or know my background, you know that I was kind of an athlete growing up my whole life, went to college to play sports, just had a super passion for health, fitness, all of those things. And actually, my undergraduate degree is in exercise science. And then I went on to get a master's degree in sport leadership. And I always thought that I would end up in this health and fitness related field. But I don't know if any of you are like me or not, and you got through school and you've come out on the other side of this thing, and all of a sudden there are like 0 jobs that have anything to do with what you really want to do. And it's like you've gone through all of this schooling and it feels like you've done it for nothing. And as I went through that whole process, it was just like, it was so deflating. And I can remember having those kind of conversations with my wife, and I always knew that I was like destined to do something special, but I could just never figure out what that was. So I jumped into a family grocery business a couple of years ago, and it's what I used, honestly, just, you know, as my full-time job, to provide for my family, for my wife and myself. I guess I didn't actually introduce myself, by the way. I'm Tate Cox, for those of you that don't know me. I'm 29 years old and I live in Lexington, Kentucky with my wife. So that's who I am. But I was working in this grocery business and still working out, you know, pretty consistently. Well, really consistently, honestly. I was kind of what I would consider a gym rat. I was going to the gym 2 hours a day, trying to lift, trying to get strong, all of those things. And I started experiencing all this low back and neck pain from years of lifting heavy and just athletics in general, all kind of piling on top of one another. And about this time, I was really complaining to my wife Peyton, like, all the time. I'm having this horrible pain, this joint pain from all this stuff that I'm doing. And she's like, you know what? You really need to try these Beachbody workouts, these workouts I've been doing from home. And I knew she had been doing them from home for the past couple of years. But to be honest, I thought it was something that was like only for women. Like, I had no clue like what it really was. And so she convinced me to give it a try. And I can remember going through that library, looking, trying to find, you know, what workout looked like it would suit me. And I landed on this 112-week program, and it was very weightlifting intensive. And I went all in head first. And within the first couple of weeks, I fell in love with these programs, and I couldn't believe the results I was getting in literally like 40 minutes a day, where I'd been spending 2 hours away from my family for 3 years. I was getting better results, feeling better than I had in my entire 20s. And I just couldn't believe like what this was doing for me. So I finished that 12-week program, and I can remember this was about probably 16-ish, 17 months ago, because I've been a coach right at 16 months. And I'm sitting on the couch in our old house looking over at my wife, and she's watching some Instagram stories of some of these top coaches in the company. And they're on there talking, you know, about all of these things like income progression and vacations that they're going on, and the way that this business has changed their family's life from a financial standpoint. And there was this part of me that was going, there's no way this is real. Like, this girl is so full of it. This guy is so full of it. Like, there's no way this is real. But in the back of my mind, what was really going on is, all right, if this thing is real, why can't I do that? Like, I am super passionate about health and fitness. I really love helping people. And that's exactly what it looks like that these people are doing. And I already know now that I love these programs. So like, why not give this thing a try? So that night I literally dove in, reached out to my current coach, and got signed up. And that's how I got started on this journey. And it has just been an absolute blast and a game changer. And we will go into exactly how this has changed our lives a little bit later, but I want to throw it back over to Beth so she can tell you a little bit about how she got started.
Awesome. Thanks, Tate. So, unlike Tate, I was not athletic. I'm still not athletic, right? Like, I exercise every day and I follow our workout programs and I eat healthy ish, but I don't consider myself athletic. I grew up on a farm raising livestock in 4-H and FFA. For those of you that don't know that about me, I actually have a bachelor's degree in animal science with a minor in agricultural communications. And then, and very much like Tate, I graduated from college and I was like, okay, well, you know, what now? Like, I don't want to go to vet school. I don't know what to do next. So I went and got my master's. I got my master's in agricultural leadership, education, and communications. And then I graduated with my master's and I was like, okay, what am I going to do now, right? So I kind of dabbled in working for those of you that are familiar with 4-H, in extension. I was an extension agent and I worked with kids in the 4-H program and through the extension service. I worked a lot of hours for not a lot of money. And although I loved the work that I did, it wasn't fulfilling in the sense of me feeling like I was being compensated for my work ethic and my abilities and work that I was just really passionate about. And that made me feel really fulfilled. So we moved from Texas to Oklahoma and I got a job at the University of Oklahoma and started working with students there and started a doctorate program because here's the common theme, right? Like I knew that I was really driven. I had a really great work ethic. I loved setting goals and accomplishing them. So me bouncing from, not really bouncing, but transitioning from degree to degree for me was about me searching for something that I didn't really know was missing, right? Like I was kind of checking the boxes of doing what I thought I was supposed to do in order to like find the perfect job, to move up the ladder and do all the things. I was essentially living my life for other people's approval. But it's not something that I realized at the time, right? Like I just kind of felt like this is what life is supposed to be like. You find a job that you're okay with, and you just go through the motions day after day after day. And like I said, I knew that I loved serving people, which is why I think I did love my role at the university and even, you know, with the extension service, but I didn't feel like any of those jobs or degrees were representative of my abilities or how hard that I had worked, right? And I think a lot of us feel that way today. Maybe you know, love your job like I did, and you don't, like, you kind of feel like something's missing, but it's kind of, I feel like it's one of those things when you don't feel super fulfilled, it's almost like one of those things that, like, if you don't know, you don't know. Like, I did not know how amazing life could be and how passionate I could be about work that I was doing that compensated me in a way that I felt aligned with the work that I was putting in. I didn't know that that was really a thing until I found this business. So something that Tate and I also have in common is that he kind of mentioned that like he knew that he wanted and needed something more. And I think that my kind of transition from degree to degree and job to job is kind of indicative of that too. Like I said, if you don't know, you don't know. And then I found Beachbody, which I'll talk about in just a second. But I think that that is a really beautiful example of how it does not matter your background. I have never been passionate about health and fitness. It's actually an area of my life that I have struggled with the most in terms of, since I didn't grow up athletic, or, you know, we didn't talk about eating healthy in the household or anything like that. I've always struggled with like the all or nothing mentality of, you know, having the 80-20 balance and still having confidence and feeling good about myself, but still enjoying the food that I loved. I was convinced that I was the only human on the planet that struggled with being able to find that balance until I found these programs. And so, you know, Tate grew up in a very athletic realm and his degrees are in that, and he had a passion for health and fitness. I did not, and we are both super successful in this business. So I hope that that just really shows you that you don't have to, and we'll talk about systems here in a little bit, but you don't have to know everything or be a certain way or fit a certain mold. This business is for everybody if you have a heart for serving other people and you like to work hard and be rewarded for it. Kind of how I found the programs, like I mentioned really briefly, I have always struggled with my health and fitness. And when we moved to Oklahoma and I started working at the university, I started working with a lady there who I knew did at-home workout programs. She would watch me commute to the campus gym every single day on my lunch break, where I would wander around for about an hour and come back to my office and try to put myself back together to meet with students in the afternoon. And she harassed me, you guys harassed me, about doing one of these at-home workout programs for about 5.5 months. And I kept saying, no, it's not my thing, it's not my thing. And she just caught me like at the right moment, on the right day, right before we went on winter break. The start of the year was coming up, the first of that next year. And of course, like New Year's resolutions, right? I was like, oh, I need to lose 12 pounds. Here we go again, the vicious cycle. And she just asked me at the right time. And I said, yes. I did that 60-day program. It's a program that we have called the Master's Hammer and Chisel. And you guys, if you've completed one of our programs from start to finish, you know how much they can change your life. And whenever I say that that 60-day program changed my life, it completely changed my life. And so the lady that I did the program with, I wasn't in a challenge group. If you're familiar with those, if you've been in a challenge group or anything like that, we just texted our sweaty selfies back and forth to each other every day. She was a Beachbody coach, but she only used her coaching account for the discount. You get a 25% discount on all of our products when you sign up to be a coach, by the way. So she never talked to me. Yeah, spirit fingers. She never talked to me about the coaching opportunity. But I knew that it was a thing because I knew she was a coach. And so I finished that program. I did it from January to March of that year. And I watched YouTube videos on coaching from March till I signed up that June. So for 3 months. Lesson learned, you do not have to know everything before you sign up to be a coach. Systems, we'll talk about that later. And so I just did all the research and I signed up to be a coach. And my goal at first was to just hold myself accountable and to help those, people that were closest to me. And as the years have kind of passed, and as I've fallen more and more in love with this business and the work that we do as coaches, my goals have gotten a lot bigger. I have since quit my full-time job at the university, and we just recently brought my husband home from his full-time job. So it's kind of one of those things that like you don't know if you don't know, right? Like I never pictured my life looking. And I know that this is just the beginning. I never pictured my life looking the way it does today. And I know that this is just the start. And so this business taught me to dream bigger and to work harder, and that there is something out there, regardless of what void you feel like you need to fill or what you feel like is missing in your life, that this business can fill for you. So I am going to pass it over to Tate, and we're going to kind of jump into those 3 main points that I talked about, that I kind of mentioned earlier: mindset, systems, and accountability.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that, that we get to do this thing together. And Beth and I have been kind of planning this for the last several weeks. And I think one of the things that kind of caught our attention was that we are so different, and the fact that we can show you guys that people from completely opposite spectrums can come into this business, can be successful, and not even just our interests and our backgrounds, but the fact that she's a female and I'm a male. Like, you see lots of females on this call. Like, don't ever forget that males can do this thing as well, and to be inviting them into your teams. And then, like, this week has just been, I think, a perfect example of how just this business and how any business and life can try to get in our way of doing things. I mean, Beth and her husband Brett, like, they've been moving all week, just craziness going on. We've had some family things that we've been dealing with, been away from home. And like, we literally hopped on a call like 30 minutes before this, and we're like trying to make sure we had everything lined out. So it's just funny how, the show must go on. So, but I'm going to jump in to talk a little bit about mindset. And guys, these 3 things that we're going to talk about, these truly are exactly what allow us to be successful in this business. And this first one, they're all 3 so important, but this first one to me is like one of the most important things that this business has done for me personally. And I'm going to start out with a quote, and it says this: "People change when the pain of change becomes less than the pain of staying the same." I'm going to read that to you one more time. People change when the pain of change becomes less than the pain of staying the same. In other words, once your mindset changes, everything changes. And guys, this business I tell people this all the time, but I have grown more personally in the past 16 months as a coach than I have in any other 16-month period of my entire life. And I dedicate that solely to this business. It has pushed me out of my comfort zone. Quick story, you can probably see like the red blotchiness on my neck right now, right? Like I get so nervous when I talk in front of people. But the first time that I did a call like this, I tried to put on a call like this when I was a couple of months into my coaching business. And literally I promoted it for like a week and 3 people showed up. And I was one of them. My coach was one of them. And another one of his coaches was one of them. And I talked for an hour, and I was way more nervous on that call than I am on this one with nearly 75 people on this call. And it just goes to show like how I've grown in the last 16 months by really diving in and dedicating myself to personal development and personal growth every day. And that is one thing that this business, if you want to be successful in this business, that's one thing that this business will force you to do, is to constantly grow. If you guys ever listen to John Maxwell, and he's like my dude, he's the leadership guru in my opinion, and I listen to him on almost a daily basis. And one of the things that he says about leadership, and it's his very first law in his 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, is called the law of the lid. And it basically says that your team can never be any greater or grow any stronger than you are as a leader. So as a leader, if you are a 5 out of 10, your team can never be any greater than a 5 out of 10. And that's why it's so important that we are constantly growing as leaders to go from a 5 to a 6 to a 7 to an 8, because that's the only way that our teams can grow with us. And in my opinion, that's why your mindset is so very important in this business. And it literally just pushes you to become the absolute best version of yourself. And this business, again, it has allowed me to become just a better husband, a better friend, a better teammate, a better leader, not only in this business, but it's also carried over unbelievably into our grocery business. Like, it's crazy what skills I have learned and leadership skills I have learned in this business that has translated directly into other areas of my life. So that's why I believe that mindset is just so very important. And it's like the number one thing that we do on a daily basis. And I know Beth would back me up and say the exact same thing. So I'm going to pass it back over to her and talk about, after you've kind of mastered the mindset, what you need to do with that as far as systems go, to go along with the mindset.
Awesome. Thanks, Tate. I just have to say, because I could not agree with Tate more, that the way in which my mindset and confidence and belief in myself, my ability to be a leader, my ability to force and create new habits in my life that make me literally a better human. I tell my coaches all the time, if you do we have these things called the vital behaviors, right? Vital means without them, you're dead. So without these behaviors, your business is dead. So if you do what we call these vital behaviors every single day, you literally become a better human, period. And one of those vital behaviors is personal development, which is working on your mindset. And so it just blows my mind that you can build a business by focusing on becoming a better human and helping other people become a better human. Like, spirit fingers, everybody. It's insane, right? There you go. So I want to talk to you really briefly about systems. I think that this is something that maybe, well, first of all, let me share a quote with you guys. Listen to this closely, okay? Systems allow ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. However, without a system, even extraordinary people find it hard to predictably achieve ordinary results. And let me tell you what that means for me in terms of and in relation to this business. So I think that quote really does address what a lot of the fears that you maybe have when you think about doing this business, right? I'm not a health and fitness expert. I don't know anything about social media. Social media scares me. I'm an introvert. all of the things, right? Like all of the self-limiting beliefs, that's what they are, right? Fear is false evidence appearing real. So whatever the fear is, or whatever the talk is that you're telling yourself, or you're trying to convince yourself as to why you can't do this business, that quote right there and the systems that we're going to talk about in just a second are proof that you can do this business, right? Because systems allow ordinary people to accomplish and achieve extraordinary results and things, okay? I mentioned earlier that whenever I found these programs, I did the programs with a lady who was a coach, but only for the discount. She didn't actively work the business, which means whenever I signed up to be a coach, I signed up with a coach who did not actively work the business or do training or teachings or anything like that. And no sooner than I signed up to be a coach, she quit, which means I do not have an upline coach. An upline coach would be like you signing up with the coach that invited you to this call. And not only that, but the coach that invited her way back when is no longer a coach. And the coach that signed that person up is no longer a coach. Okay. So the fact that this team has been so successful with me not having an upline coach is proof that if you just implement the systems that you will have access to, the resources and the trainings that you will have access to, that Tate, myself, whoever invited you to this call will provide you with, if you work on your mindset, cultivate that belief and confidence in yourself, which literally makes you a better human, right? And take action with your business with the systems, resources, and trainings that you're given, there is no way you will not be successful. It is such a beautiful thing when all of those pieces align. Okay, so I want to first start by letting you know, reminding you that that fear that you may be feeling by working on your mindset, implementing these systems, and really leaning in and taking action, you can do this business. Like, nothing can hold you back, nothing can stop you. Okay, and like I said, I think the proof that there are really successful coaches in this business that don't have uplines is just living proof of that, right? Because Beachbody is an amazing company that provides us with amazing resources even outside of what this team will provide you with. One thing that, kind of like what Tate said, whenever he found this business, he was like, is this like a real thing? Like, are these people like really seeing this kind of success with running a business like this? You guys, first of all, it's 2020, right? Network marketing is like, I don't even want to say network marketing, but like Beachbody, the structure of Beachbody, the way that you literally have an e-commerce system like built for you. You don't have to be an expert in anything because Beachbody pays super trainers a lot of money to create these programs. They have an entire research and development team that creates our products, and all of the things, right? Our nutrition programs, they have celebrity nutritionists that create all of those. All we have to do is focus on ourselves and connect other people with these resources, right? And as you lean into your own journey, you gain knowledge in all of those areas to be able to effectively help other people, okay? So the fact that like these products and programs like that Beachbody has created are being handed to us on a silver platter, all we have to do is use them and do them and share them with other people, right? And everything else is taken up. Like, think about if you wanted to start your own business, like a brick and mortar business, think about the type of financial investment that would take on your end. I can promise you, like, I can't think of one that would cost less than your challenge pack, which waives your coach sign up fee, right? It costs $39.95 to start this business unless you sign up with a challenge pack, which if you're really new here, that is literally all of the tools and resources that you need to work on you, right? You purchase that bundle and you can start what could potentially be a 6 or 7 figure business, whatever your goals are. Okay, mind-blowing, like insane. We run new coach mentorships monthly, bi-monthly. You will have access to ongoing resources and training to help you succeed. All you have to do is want it for yourself. And I think that there's a lot of power in really understanding that systems allow ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results predictably. Okay. I am going to pass it back over to Tate, and he's going to talk a little bit about accountability.
Yeah, there we go. Had to unmute myself. But yes, 100% believe in everything Beth just said. And guys, we have access to all of those things as far as our teams go that will help you be successful in this business. And kind of piggybacking off of what she just said, this business is not easy. I don't want anybody to ever think that it's super easy, but it is simple. It is simple. You take the simple steps on a daily basis and use these systems, and you can be successful as well. So I'm going to jump into the accountability portion of it, because we think that's the third most, maybe not third most, but all of them together are important. So this third portion of it is accountability. And I'm going to read this quote to you. It says, "The most powerful force on the planet is that we become consistent and congruent with the expectations of our peer group." So I think this is the part that makes this business so special. Like, yes, we've developed our mindset. We're becoming better people. We learn these systems of how to reach out and help other people. But then not only do we get to do those things, we get to do it with all of these other people that we know, love, and trust. We get to lock arms with these people, and we get to go through this entire journey together. Like, to me, that is what makes this totally different than any other business that you could ever get into. Because just like Beth was saying, if you try to start a brick and mortar business, every other brick and mortar business around you is your competition. This business, and they're not out there to help you. I promise that. I promise you that. Our family's in the grocery business. No other grocery company around us is trying to help us get more customers. Versus you join a business like this, you lock arms with your team, and we're all in it to help each other build our businesses and move this thing forward. We're there to encourage one another. We've got our accountability groups going on in our challenge groups every single day where we're all posting our sweaty selfies. It's just truly an amazing culture to be part of. And I have honestly in my life never experienced a group of people that are more like dedicated to helping other people. And it's just, I honestly can't put it into words, like the feeling that you get when you first start to experience the fullness of this business and how you get to come alongside with all of these people and do it together. So it's truly just the icing on the cake, in my opinion. So I'm going to toss it back over to Beth and let you kind of touch on some of the stuff that you have with accountability as well.
Yeah, honestly, I don't have anything else to add except, like, I second all the things that Tate just talked about. And the community is the piece of the puzzle that I did not know that I needed when I started. I started because I desperately needed a solution to compensate this yo-yo situation that I had going on, this all or nothing mentality. I found these programs that I felt like were that solution, and a really cool byproduct of that, and of me starting to share that and getting more comfortable sharing that and talking to people about my story and my journey and inviting them to do this with me, is literally the most incredible humans that I've ever met, like on the face of the planet. And the really cool thing about it, listen to me, I'm like, oh, I don't have anything to add. I second that. And then I'm like, bleh. The really cool thing about that is that because you're all working on your own journeys of like becoming your best self and working on your mindset and figuring out nutrition and creating consistent habits with your exercise, your relationships with other people who are putting focus in that kind of way on their own journeys it's so incredibly special, you guys. And so yeah, I second all of that. That is why I really feel like those three pieces, right? Your mindset, cultivating that belief and confidence within yourself, which is just like anything else, right? Like your confidence is like a muscle. The belief that you build within yourself is like a muscle, right? You have to work on it every single day. And the systems that you'll have access to and that you will be able to implement in your business, and then that accountability piece, whether it's for your health and fitness journey or for growing your business as your goals kind of shift and change, are really second to none. And those are the reasons that we are so insanely passionate about what our teams have done over the last few years. I know that I couldn't do it alone, and I know that other people can't do it alone. And the fact that we have been able to make an income from home by doing this work. Just literally blows my mind. And so that kind of leads us into, Tate and I wanted to share some income progressions with you guys as to kind of how by us implementing these things and becoming the people that we are today and not stopping here but continuing to move forward, how we have been able to create an income from doing those things. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and we will take a look at Tate's income progression first, and then we'll jump over to mine, and then we will wrap up, you guys. Tate, I'm really proud of us. It's been 35 minutes and we don't have that much to go. I'm real impressed. Okay, let me, I don't know. Okay, give me 1 second. I don't know what's happening. I had to.
You're good.
My system preferences or something is not allowing me to. Oh, there we go. Maybe. Oh, no. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Screen recording. You can choose to quit Zoom now or. Okay. I can't share my screen because of some system preferences. Tate, are you able to share if you're not the host? Like if I pass the graphics over to you?
I might be able to do it right here. Oh, no, host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Hold on. Oh, here you go. Now try.
All right, let's see if this works. Oh, it wants me to open system preferences.
Yours says that too?
Yeah. Okay, well, never mind.
Here, I can, I think it'll be backwards, but I'll show you guys, and Tate, you can just kind of walk through yours.
Yeah, so you can do that, and then I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll type it in the chat message. So
okay, sorry guys.
Let's see. Put that back up there again. I forgot what it was.
Can you see that okay?
Month 14. Sorry, I'm a slow typer. 2, 1, 1. Okay. So, as you can see, I've been doing this business just a little over a year. And when I first started, I literally just wanted to make sure that I was paying for my supplements each month. Like that's all I really was focused on. Now I had bigger goals, obviously down the road, but I didn't even realize the true potential that this business had. So I read a book called Build to Last by a top Beachbody coach in this company. It's the first book I ever read. And in there, he showed his income progression. And that was literally all I needed to see. I was like, once I saw this dude who went from like, you know, his first year, he made like $10,000. And then like years 7, 8, he was between like 500,000 and $1 million. I was like, okay, let's do this thing. And so I just dove in, gave it every single thing that I had. And as I've gone, I've realized that this business has so much more potential than I ever realized when I started. And as you can see, I don't know, would $2,118.44 extra a month help anybody else on the call? Does that help anybody else? So it's helped us out tremendously. my ultimate goal is to bring my wife home from work. And that is what I'm continuing to push for. But obviously we didn't get on here to brag about our income progressions. This is simply to show you the power that this business has. That's all we're doing by showing you these. And these are real, 100% real numbers. And again, there's not a lot I can really say about that, but going from $194 in month one and being where I'm at now, I just never would have imagined that that was possible to be extra income in just over a year. And what we can do with that income as far as, going on vacations. We're remodeling our home gym right now. We're fixing up a home gym. I got a brand new iMac computer that today is the first day I just got it. I'm using it right now and I'm kind of struggling to figure out how to work it, to be honest. But like, these are the things that this business has allowed us to do in just over a year. And sometimes when we're in the trenches and we're working through these things, that seems like a long time. But when you take a step back, like if you could substantially increase your income in 15 months, would you do it? Like, would you take the time to do that? Yes, 100% you would do that. So again, there's mine. We'll save Beth's for next. So I'll pass it back to you, Beth.
Awesome. And just for the sake of formality, I just shared the Beachbody income disclaimer in the chat box, and I'm going to go ahead and read it. Team Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income from the Team Beachbody coaching opportunity. Each coach's income depends on his or her own efforts, diligence, and skill. Okay, we have to say that. And then y'all, we worked really hard on these graphics for you guys.
I can show yours if you want me to.
Okay, cool. And then I will copy and paste those numbers into, if I can get wow, I'm having all kinds of issues today. There we go. Okay, and then here are my numbers. So I felt like it was important to show you guys my numbers for the past 4 years of me signing up to be a coach. So whenever I started coaching, like I mentioned earlier when I shared my story, I started for the accountability. My biggest fear on the planet was fear of judgment. So I did not use social media to like grow my business in the beginning. I just invited my friends and family members in person who were asking me, this is per month, who were asking me what it was that I was doing, right? I had a Facebook group. We didn't have bod groups and we didn't have the My Challenge Tracker app, for those of you that are familiar with those platforms that we currently use for challenge groups. I just had a Facebook group, and even if they didn't do Beachbody programs, anybody and everybody that wanted to do something health and fitness related or just wanted tips or tricks or resources or anything got put into that Facebook group. I became addicted to what it felt like to see other people that I loved and that were close to me feel what I was feeling by the power of these programs. And I was a coach for an entire full year. I actually signed up in June of 2016. I just had my 4-year coaching anniversary. But I did not decide to go like work my business until May of 2017, which is why I picked that time to kind of show you guys where I started. And like, I think that you can drastically see by the jump in my income from year 3 to 4 that the way that our compensation plan is structured, this compounds quickly over time as you just keep doing the things, right? It's just like within our health and fitness journeys, the more consistently you do the things, you eat cleaner, you drink your Shakeology more consistently, and you press play on a workout program and you complete them from start to finish, that's when you see the true transformation, right? This business is different. And so we are not, like, this is obviously not like a get rich quick scheme, because it takes diligence and hard work. And like Tate said earlier, it's not hard, it's not easy, it's simple, but it takes effort. And if you can just commit to becoming the most consistent person that you know, then your income is just a direct reflection of that. And I think that like that is the power in us showing you what can happen in the course of 12 months, 14 months, or 4 years. Okay. So I think that's also really important for those of you that maybe are on this call that are newer coaches who maybe are feeling like, you know, you're trying to get traction and like you're wanting to see your hard work pay off. Like this is proof that your hard work will pay off if you stay the course long enough, right? And I think that's where we see like a lot of coaches will get discouraged and they'll quit before they've given themselves the opportunity to really make something of this. So hopefully that is helpful for you guys in terms of seeing how your hard work can pay off. So now I want to talk about moving forward. So that's all the content that we had to share with you guys. We hope that it gave you some insight into what we do as coaches and how this business has drastically changed our lives. It's forced us to like dream bigger. Like Tate, I'm sure you can attest to the fact that you probably a couple years ago never thought it would be possible to bring Peyton home from her full-time job, right? And I the same. Like we just convince ourselves that life has to be a certain way, and we just get into those routine habits of living life that certain way. But this business is proof, and it has taught me that that doesn't have to be the case. So what we want you to do now is we want you to reach out to the coach that invited you to this webinar. Like I said, we have a new coach mentorship starting next week. We run them so often because we're constantly adding new coaches to our team. Reach out to them, ask any questions that you may have. They will help you get signed up, whether you already do these programs or you're going to sign up to be a coach and start your first program at the very same time. Your coach that invited you to this call will help walk you through those things and get you plugged into the new coach training. And then Tate and I will go through and pick the giveaway winners first thing tomorrow or sometime tomorrow. I don't want to say first thing and like commit to that because I have a teething baby, but we will get that done tomorrow. So be sure that you guys post the picture in your stories, tag both of us and the coach that invited you to the call. And we are so excited to hopefully welcome a whole bunch of new coaches to our team. And thank you guys so much for either hopping on live or watching this recording back. We are so thankful for all of you. Tate, do you have anything to add before we wrap?
Pretty much it. That just super grateful and thankful for all of you hopping on here tonight, and we'll see you guys soon. Hope to hear from a lot of you. We love what we do, and I think that shows. So
absolutely. Thanks,
we'll
guys.
see you guys. Thanks.